Welcome back to the Daily Spread. I'm Chris Ross. This is brought to you by the Land Grant Gauntlet. And if you're wondering where Brady Trantham has been, he has not gone anywhere. He helps cover the Oklahoma City Thunder with ThunderDigest.com. And as they head into the NBA playoffs, things are getting fairly busy for him. He will be back, but you're stuck with me again today. We have a pretty good show today. Pretty excited about it. There's lots of stuff to talk about. Some injury news for Texas Tech and West Virginia. TCU is into the NIT Finals. They play Thursday night. Be sure to watch that. That's awesome. Still repping the Big 12 in postseason play. The only Big 12 team that can say that. And then we look at the Red Raiders and replacing Patrick Mahomes. Some more news on that. We talked a little bit about it yesterday, but there's some more news on that. And then Sooners picked up some big time help at receiver, and yeah, we got that and more. There's a little bit to talk about today, so we'll just kind of get into it. But before I do that, as I try to pull up the live link here and share it on Twitter, do the same. Share it, like it if you like it. If you don't like it, hit the little thumbs down button. And then let us know what we can do better so we can work on that. But if you like it, definitely hit that like button and share it out, because that is a huge, huge help to us. So let me do that real quick, and then we will get after it here today. Kind of a dreary day here in Oklahoma City. Kind of overcast. It rained a lot last night. Lots of storms went through. So kind of dreary outside. All right. That is sent. And so we will get after it today. As I said earlier, TCU will just lead it off with the Horned Frogs making the NIT Finals. They knocked off UCF last night 68-53. It was a pretty good game in the fact that TCU was down for much of the first half. The Knights kind of taking it to them there and kind of got up to double-digit lead there. But TCU was able to bring it back, tie it up, and enter the halftime only down 1 point. And then the second half was the Horned Frogs show there. They put the Knights away and kind of cruised to the 15-point victory there. To close out the game. So big win for the Horned Frogs. They play in the finals on Thursday night, so definitely look for that, and let's root for them, because that would be huge. And it goes back to the question we asked earlier, which is better, going deep into the NIT or making the NCAA tournament and exiting in the first round? Because this TCU team with the new head coach, Jamie Dixon, is getting a lot of experience right now, which you got to think, the extra practices, extra experience, that's going to play into their favor next season. All right, so that's basketball, which we don't talk a lot about here. So we'll get more into some football news. Unfortunately, we'll start out with a little bit of bad news. Both Texas Tech and the West Virginia Mountaineers have some injuries to report. For West Virginia, the backup center, Jacob, and oh my goodness, these names. Jacob Buccigrassi tore his ACL in practice on Monday. It was reported yesterday after we went on yesterday, so yesterday afternoon. So he will be out for the foreseeable future, and he was going to give valuable minutes there at center and then maybe some at right guard, but it looked like he was, they had him there under center. The big news for West Virginia is they have, what's his name, coming back, well, not coming back, but transferring in from the JUCO ranks. Joe Wickline's son will be coming in, and I don't think he wants to be known as Joe Wickline's son, so let me, I should have been more prepared, and I will pull up his name here. And it is, I'm going to say it starts with this, Kelby Wickline. He'll give some help at center there or guard position, so that'll be a big help for the Mountaineers, because it sucks to lose depth, but now is the time, because it's easier to account for it in the spring than it is, say, if this happened in fall camp, then Wickline and Holgerson could be kind of scrambling for some depth there, but they have a little bit of time to prepare. Texas Tech, it looks like guard Madison Akamanu will undergo back surgery. It looks like this is covered by RedRaiders.com, and we'll have it linked after the show here. But it looks like they were trying to treat it without surgery, but he just wasn't responding. He had some back tightness, some soreness there. So they're going to go ahead and elect to have the surgery, and then he should be out. I guess they're hopeful to get him back within a couple months' time. So he should be back for fall camp. At the latest, you would think he'd be ready to go once the season starts. And he's kind of a big part of their offense. You know, he provides minutes. He got some starts last season, so they're definitely going to want him back. But, you know, with him out, this is going to get some of the depth, some of the guys behind him, a chance to get some reps with the ones and twos in the spring. So that's the plus side if you want to look at the plus side there, glass half full. Now, just about a little while ago, if you were paying attention on Twitter, you may have seen that we dropped the Big 12 receiving core rankings. These are our rankings. It's kind of brought to you by it's brought to you by Chase Wilder, and he's gone through and kind of looked at the returning depth. But that is the predominant factor, looking at the production, proven production that's coming back. But that's not the only factor, because teams like Oklahoma State, not only do they have a lot of returning talent, but they also have some new guys coming in that have a lot of promise. I mean, the Cowboys, will just give it away here. They're absolutely loaded at receiver. They have James Washington, who he'll be a Biletnikoff finalist. He led the Big 12 last year. Jalen McCleskey, Chris Lacey, Marcel Aitman. They're all proven guys. These guys, Marcel Aitman didn't play last year, but he's got a ton of talent and could give Washington a run for his money as the Cowboys' go-to receiver there. And then they have guys, if that's not enough, they have guys like Tyron Johnson and Dylan Stoner coming in. But then they also have, what's the guy's name here? The transfer from LSU. Oh, yeah, Tyron Johnson. He's going to be unbelievable. You know, I mean, this is the depth that the Cowboys are going to have is just incredible. Behind the Cowboys, maybe a bit of a surprise will be Texas Tech, and they have a lot of production. They have the most returning proven production, and it's not even close. It's by over 600 yards. So their receiving core is pretty deep for the Red Raiders, and that should be really good for them. And that's going to help out Nic Shimonek, who looks like he is cementing the starting job there. Over at Staking the Plains, they have a great write-up on this. And, you know, we talked about this. Robert Spradley yesterday dropped the Mahomeless on the High Plains. And it's a look at what the Red Raiders could look like without Patrick Mahomes, who was just unbelievable last season. And in my opinion, when he's fully healthy, he is the best quarterback, or was the best quarterback in the Big 12. That's no slight to Baker Mayfield. I mean, everything he's done is incredible. And I think Baker Mayfield earned those honors last year, but I would still take a healthy Mahomes over Mayfield. Tough choice, but Mahomes, his abilities are just insane, what he can do. And we talked about yesterday about how his ability to extend plays really helped a struggling offensive line, and it put a lot of stress on the secondary, because when a quarterback starts to scramble, you could have that defense start to kind of close in a little bit, because the quarterback's limited to his options when he's on the run there, but not Mahomes. Mahomes can flick it 55 yards with seemingly little effort, and that's tough to account for. So, however, the Red Raiders don't have that luxury this year, and so they're going to have some improved line play, because they don't have the quarterback that's going to bail them out and extend those plays and kind of keep them in games. But Nic Shimonek, when he came in for Mahomes when he was injured and, you know, in garbage time, that kind of thing, he looked very, very good, especially against Kansas last season. And it looks like he has locked up the starting role. On StakingThePlains.com, they have a great write-up here, and it tells a little story from another piece. But after, in spring practice or in spring scrimmage, he, in the Midland scrimmage, the Red Raider, they scored a touchdown, they punched one in, and it looks like he was giving the defense, after celebrating with the offense, he was giving the defense flack for saying, you know, calling out guys, that's your fault, that's your fault. And, you know, honestly, that's a little bit what the Red Raiders need right now. They need some accountability on defense, and it looks like Shimonek is being more of a vocal leader and kind of taking the team on as his own. So I think he's definitely cemented himself as the starter. It's his job to lose. There's a little bit of competition there, but I do think that that is definitely his job to lose. And it's a great read, so go ahead. We'll have that linked here after the show, but and we'll kind of move on from that. But good read. We talked a little bit about this yesterday too, but I can't speak right now. Oklahoma picked up a graduate transfer in Kentucky transfer Jeff Badet, and that's going to be a huge help for them because they, in the receiving corps, I think they're ranked 6th in the rankings that we were talking about earlier. They're ranked 6th. They don't have a lot of proven guys coming back, a lot of proven production. There are some guys to be excited about, like Meade and, is it Austin? Here we go. Oh, yeah. Mark Andrews. There we go. Mark Andrews, obviously. So they have some guys to be excited about, but Badet will give them much more depth. He was Kentucky's kind of go-to guy. Now, his stats aren't incredible, but that's largely because the Kentucky Wildcats system isn't very quarterback-friendly, which, you know, prompted the move to the Sooners. And I'm sorry, not quarterback friendly, receiver friendly, or either one. You know, it's not very pass friendly. It's a run heavy offense, so it's hard to get production if you're a receiver, and so the move is going to benefit everybody. It's the Sooners. They just don't rebuild a position group. They just reload it. They go and they find guys that will give them immediate health. I think we've seen that time and time again. Over the last few years, where it looks like they're kind of weak at a position and might have some serious issues, but then they get graduate transfers, they hit up the JUCO ranks, and they bring in just studs that it's just next man up for them. And it looks like that's going to be this case again in 2017. They're obviously a contender for the conference. And then to wrap up the show today, a little more, I don't think I missed anything, but to wrap up the show, a little more OU news in that Joe Mixon, you know, there's a lot been made of what his draft status is. You know, he didn't get to participate in the combine. He put on a pretty good pro day, but with his off-the-field issues, are teams going to take a chance on him, or will that knock his draft stock? And while I do think it'll probably knock his draft stock some, at least one team seems interested in Mixon, and that is Jeff McClain. He follows the Eagles. And it looks like the Eagles are definitely keeping Mixon on their draft board. So a little bit of NFL draft news there as we get closer to the draft. And so we'll just see how high Mixon goes. But it looks like, I mean, obviously we knew teams were going to be interested. But it seems as we get closer to the draft, I think his stock will kind of start to come back up, especially as if he can stay away from any negative headlines, that will do him good. I think that's about it. That's all we got for today's show. Let me see if anything's popped up in the last few minutes. Kind of scan the headlines here, and I'm not seeing anything. All right, guys. It's been a good Wednesday. I will be back tomorrow, Thursday, and for another show. If you like the show, hit the like button. If you don't like it, hit the don't like button. If you're watching this later on YouTube, hit the little subscribe button and make sure you don't miss another episode. We love it, guys. Thank you for watching. I'm Chris Ross. This has been The Daily Spread, brought to you by LandGrantGauntlet.com. You can follow us on Twitter at @the_LGG. That's all I got. Have a good one.